so much for coming. I'm Kira Barstad. I'm the student director of this one act. It's called Juvie, and I am very happy that I chose this one act, and I'm very happy that I have all the actors that have been cast in this one act. They have shown me so much improvement and so much progress throughout this whole thing, and they impress me every single day, and I'm honored to be their director. So I hope that you enjoy the show.
Armstrong, Jean, female, 15, apprehended in process of burglary of a habitation, complaint pending, assault, probation violation, 2 prior convictions, parent notification attempt unsuccessful. Collins, Margaret, also known as Sunny, female, 16, investigation of aggravated assault and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, action pending verified information, Woodson PD. Sanderson, Jeffrey, also known as Skip, male, 16, driving under the influence, 2nd offense, driving without a license, resisting arrest, probation violation, parent notification attempt unsuccessful. Miller, Carrie, female, 16, leaving the scene of an accident, hit and run, parents notified. Marler, Andrew, male, 15, communicating gambling information, specifically delivery of bookmaking and numbers receipts. 5 previous arrests, varying charges, all dismissed on basis of incompetency. Remanded to Department of Human Resources 5 times. Guardian notified. Balu, Ann Elizabeth, female, 14, theft over $20 and under $200, specifically shoplifting. Parents notified. Simpson, Charlotte, also known as Pinky, alias Charlotte Singleton and CJ Simpkins, female, 16, delivery of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, carrying a prohibited weapon, unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, resisting arrest, probation violation, 5 prior convictions, parents refused to appear, probation officer notified. Doe Jane, arrest number 773, female, approximate age 13, investigation of runaway, resisting arrest, refuses to give name, address, parent's name, or location. Department of Human Resources notified, parents unknown.
My, is this a Saturday night or not? Where are all the regulars? Here's a familiar face, Andy the Veg.
Don't you call me that.
Andy the Veg. Why don't you want me to call you Andy the Veg?
Don't. I know you.
What shall I call you then?
Don't you call me that.
What's 2 and 2?
4.
4 and 4?
8.
8 and 8?
Why do you call me that?
What they call you for, Andy the Veg? White collar crime? Counter spy intelligence ring? What, Andy the Veg?
I don't know why they got me, but I gotta get out. I can't get fired. It's hard for me to find jobs.
No!
I've got to buy presents. I can't get fired.
Maybe you can get a job in the salad, Andy the Veg. All right, back off. What's it to you? You've got him enough. And who are you? Andy the Veg?
Jean, to be left alone.
I bet that's how the guys spend their weekends.
You've got a mouth that needs shutting.
Come zip it, sister.
Knock it off in there.
What? No square dancing?
We'll settle this later. When you get out, bring your Medicare card.
Too bad. I thought we'd see a cat fight. You want to see a cat fight, Veg?
Don't you call me that. See what you did?
Can you ever forgive me?
I don't like that name.
Can't everyone just leave?
Leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Aren't mothers getting younger these days? You want to rock him to sleep? I'll find a rock for you.
What have you got to be so mighty about?
I shouldn't be in here. So I got a little drunk. So I've got balloon breath. So what? If booze rots my guts, they're mine to rot.
I'm for that.
Anyway, I was out on the interstate on Monday, rush hour, bumper to bumper. But we were moving okay, 60, 65, and it's like somebody put up a wall. 2 old geezers are laying around in the center of my lane, maybe 50 miles an hour. The left lane was full of people going 90, but the long stretch on the right was coming up. So I just whipped her over on the shoulder. 2 wheels on the grass and 2 on the pavement. And I opened her up. I hit 80, 90, and I passed those fools. I started to pull back on, but then I saw this light pole a couple hundred feet away from me. My friend Sammy was riding with me that day. He's always been a real old lady about my driving.
Get back on the road, man.
Couldn't have missed it by a foot. Sammy just fell over.
Great joke. Almost kill yourself and your friend.
Never even came close. I can tell how far something's in front of the car, no matter how fast I'm going. And I can tell even better after a few drinks. Really, better.
Stinking thinking.
What?
My brother was an alcoholic. We sent him to the AA after his 3rd fall. They call that stinking thinking.
Who you calling an alcoholic?
Drunks rationalize everything.
It's okay. I'm coming off my little buzz every second now. But how about you? You don't think I don't see the signs, the moves, the eyes darting around? I'm getting better every second. But how about you? How about her? Maybe some of the others too. I haven't made a comprehensive junkie count.
Shut up!
Sure, but I'm getting better every second. How about you?
I wonder if there's some primitive place left in this world. A place with trees and beaches and warm weather all year round, with lots of children to play among it all. They could run on the beach and chase each other on the surf like dolphins.
Aunt Carrie, you're sitting with us tonight, aren't you? You promised!
Of course, I'll be there. I wouldn't need much. Just a quiet place near the beach, so I could watch the children. And if one got too far into the surf, I could swim out and bring him back. Or if the weather turned bad, I would shout to them, so they'd run back and cuddle in their huts with their families until the storm had passed.
Aunt Carrie, don't go. Stay tonight, too.
I'll keep you Friday again. You pick the books we'll read. I wouldn't need much. I'd stay there forever. Or until machines started coming in. Machines are the evil in us. They look for something to kill, like I killed.
He isn't dead, Carrie. Don't think about it.
What else can I think about? Every night for the rest of my life, I'll see that blonde head and that striped shirt. I'll see it for the split second before I crushed it under the machine. Before I try to drive so far and so fast that it didn't ever happen. And I'll see the red and the water from the mother's eyes and the wheeling bed and the door swinging closed. Redder and more horrible than if I'd really seen it. Then I'll see it again. And I'll open my eyes and try not to scream. Because my throat hurts so much already. But I'll scream anyway. And it won't dry one drop of the red. And I'll try to keep my eyes open. But they'll sink again. And I'll see it all over.
Aunt Carrie? Aunt Carrie?
I hope I don't have many nights.
Head inside the bars, girl.
What's she gonna do? Bend him?
You know the rules, Pinky.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, in the corner. Got anything to say? You're just making this hard on yourself. Okay.
Keep it up, kid. Don't say anything, and you can't keep anything on you.
Or continue with everything. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be around when something happens.
Oh yeah, really, officer? I was just standing there and these 7 guys jumped in front of my machine gun.
You don't have to do anything. Can he hear me? They don't listen.
Nobody believes anybody in here anyway. You can't find your lunch meat for all the baloney.
We'd been smoking, a bunch of us. Just sitting around, listening to some music, and it got to where everything was funny. We smoked some more, and it got funnier and funnier. Then it just dropped. I was so bored I could have eaten the walls to get out of there. So Hank says,
Let's go get some beer.
I didn't want any, but it was better than staying. We pulled up at the Pack Mart, and the guy there was playing video games. He didn't even look up when we came in. He just kept shrugging his shoulders the way guys do when they're destroying the universe with those things. We pulled 2 6-packs out of the cooler, and Hank starts bugging the guy to wait on us. But he just kept saying,
Just a second, just a second.
like he was going for the Guinness Book or something. Well, Hank was pretty far gone, and he kicked the plug out. The guy screamed and grabbed Hank and threw him on the wall and started beating on him. The next thing I knew, Hank had a knife. It was in his pocket, or he grabbed it off the rack and shoved it right in that guy's face. The guy was screaming and shaking Hank, but he couldn't see. So Hank grabbed a can and hit him in the head. He dropped. He wasn't moving. Hank just kept moving his head from side to side, just moving his head. Then he dropped the can, grabbed me, and pushed me in the car. We sideswiped a car on the way out. It was some kids from the party. Hank saw them too.
Don't know who did it.
I didn't do anything.
You're with me, aren't you? We've got to get out of here.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to cross him.
Once we make it to the city, we'll just fade into the crowd.
We made it to the city about sunrise, and Hank got even crazier. His eyes kept darting everywhere, and he kept twitching. Then we saw a cop parked by a curb, and Hank got crazy and took off about 80 miles an hour. That cop wasn't even looking at us. But when Hank took off, that cop called all the rest of the cops in the world. And we were running lights and taking corners at 50 miles an hour. The next thing I knew, Hank sheared off a lamppost and tried to make it between the wall and a truck, and at the last second he panicked and tried to stop. We skidded into the car, Hank's side first. The next thing I knew, I saw red. I think I passed out. And when I woke up, Hank was bent over the wheel with blood coming out of the corner of his eye. Hank's going to be all right, they told me. But I don't know. I don't know.
And Balu,
Am I getting out?
you're a lawyer.
Lawyer? I don't need a lawyer. It's gonna be fixed.
This way.
I'm Elizabeth Sims. Your father contacted me.
I don't need a lawyer. It's all going to be fixed.
It's not that simple. Stores are prosecuting now as a matter of policy.
They don't put this in the newspapers, do they?
No.
Good. If it got back to school, I don't know what I'd do.
Tell me what happened.
I pleaded with Mother for those clothes, but she wouldn't listen. So there wasn't any other way. We have a charge account at the store, so I figured if I got caught, they'd just put it on that and not make any fuss. I took 2 outfits into the dressing room, put my own clothes over one and laid the other on the counter while the clerk was busy. But she followed me, and when she caught up, she could see the other stuff under my clothes. Then they just called the police. Just called the police even after I told them who I was. Isn't there some way to fix this? Surely Daddy can do something.
We'll do the best we can and emphasize first offense.
Can I go home now?
The processing isn't finished.
When will that be?
It's crowded downstairs. It could take most of the night. Guard, don't discuss the case with anybody. We'll get you out as soon as we can.
Well, are they going to give you the chair, or are you hoping for relief from jail?
Why is everyone your personal target?
Because everybody else deserves it. Look around here. Juvenile detention. Aren't you all the pick of the crop, though?
And you're not locked up?
Oh, Junior, inside just like outside. You've got your order things. You've got your higher forms, and you've got your crawling things that you have to wait through the dirt.
You're scum!
I am former scum. These streets are full of earth eaters, and I see that they get taken every day. It's everybody else's turn. I've had mine. I was on the receiving end, hanging out with losers, scratching for a connection of some fourth-rate stuff so laced up with powdered sugar, you're more likely to get diabetes than anything else. Then I took a look around. I've been down here for two-bit theft and extortion and burglary, and I'd done some time, and there was nothing but more of the same facing me. So I figured if I was going to take the fall, it might as well be worth it. So I moved into management. And then all those empty eye sockets came coming to me, on my terms, whatever I wanted, they came through with it. And me ranking off the best, no charge, if one crossed me or undercut me with somebody else, he might not get his for a while, or cut it way down with something else. What if somebody catches you at it, cutting the stuff? What are they gonna do? Call a cop? If they kick, you just back off and say, hey, here's something better on the house. And maybe you slip them maybe 3 times the strength it's had, or a little bit more strychnine in it than usual, and you won't have that problem again. The word hits fast when somebody comes up gagging, and maybe business slacks off for a day or two. But then the pain's starting and those smiling jerks come knocking on your doorstep, just like you were their guardian angel in a candy store all rolled into one.
Once a junkie.
Nah, I don't do that hard stuff anymore. Maybe once in a while, rarely though. They can keep me a week in here, man. I'll be all right. 2 weeks, no sweating. No sweating. How you feeling, scum?
Hey, in the corner, you got anything to say yet? You're just making this harder on yourself.
They want me to talk. Well, they can hang it out until it rots. I've done my talking. I've done my listening too. I've heard enough footsteps in the night, my old lady sneaking in the back door, the old man out the front. Who are they sneaking from? Neither of them could have cared less. I've heard the bottles falling and the blows falling. I've heard the screaming and the cursing. I've heard the knife come out of the drawer and heard the footsteps running into the yard. I've heard the neighbors yelling and the sirens pulling up to the house. I've heard the lies to cover up the horror. I've heard the cops pull away and heard the fists again. So I don't listen anymore, and I don't talk. By now, there's nothing to say.
Just speak freely.
It's dark at first. I really hate that. Makes me want to curl up and cover myself with something.
The darkness frightens you?
It draws me too. I spread the gasoline near inside walls with my cloth or drapes.
Sean, you promised to really try this time. What's causing this?
There are scratches on them. No, don't look for them. Nobody did them with a knife or a nail, but they're there.
Scratches?
My old lady'd say.
Get busy on your homework. We're no TV.
Scratch. My old man.
Why don't you get into sports or something instead of sitting around all day?
Scratch. The coach.
You gonna run that slow? Take another lap.
Scratch. Some teacher.
Learn all 50 state capitals by Friday.
Scratch. The preacher.
Thou shalt not anything.
Scratch.
When you take the matches out, those disposable lighters are no good. I heard about a guy that tried to torch a building with one of those and it exploded and blew his face off. You strike the match, and the darkness starts to disappear. There's a whole fire in there inside that match flame. I always watch it a while. Then it's not enough. You toss it into the gasoline and up it goes. And you run and find some place where you can watch.
Capitals, laps. Everybody carving their initials in me. So I'd put mine someplace, a desk, table, or somebody else's initials, so maybe they'd catch the heat.
But what did it get you?
Even. And the school building started looking pretty good at night, and I'd say I was going out to practice and watch Dad drool all over himself. And instead, I'd go to the school and decorate a little. Looked pretty good the next day. Scratch up my hand.
Sean,
Are you gonna scratch too?
no. Sorry. Go on.
But nobody stopped.
You want a driver's license? There's some responsibility first.
You'll have to go to work. Times are tough.
Tough, huh? Try it from this angle.
I like him to catch a so I can watch it all. First bit of flame shows up on the outside, starting to lick the sides of the building. Or maybe it shoots the window up high and goes screaming toward the sky. Every second it gets brighter, like there's plenty of light. And you don't have to fight the darkness anymore. Like you can sleep without thinking something's gonna get you all the time. With somebody.
So I scratched some more. Nobody drives when tires are slashed. Chain links cut easy in the dark. Driveways get spray painted unexpectedly. And still the scratching. Everybody. So everybody gets it. Go out at 2, maybe 3 in the morning and run a nail down every car for 5 or 6 blocks. And pretty soon, they'll be scratched up the way I am. Maybe they'll stop once they get enough of me home.
Did you ever see a really big fire? It's like noon in the light summer. Like a huge noontime sun you made for yourself to kill the darkness. I stare into the flames so hard sometimes that I can almost see myself looking back out, beckoning to myself, inviting myself into the brightest part. It's warm in there, and it never gets dark. Never.
James, Billy, female, 15. Investigation of arson, third offense. Probation violation. Parents notified. Gibbons, Sean, male, 16. Criminal mischief, vandalism, 2 counts. Resisting arrest, assault on an officer, probation violation. Referral from Department of Human Resources. Parents notified. Grimes, Leah, female, 15. Kidnapping, parents notified.
He never called me enough. Saturday, most weeks, and some Fridays, but hardly ever on weeknights. They didn't understand how much she missed me between times, how much I missed her. They got to have her all the time. Jenny needed me. I could tell when I was reading to her or feeding her her bottle that she loved me best of anybody. Nobody ever felt that way about me before. So I wanted to be with her more and more. I got to have her all day while I was at school and all night while I worried how she was or if they were treating her right. Babysitter. They couldn't see how much more I was. Jenny wanted me with her, but they didn't try and see it. I told them they wouldn't have to pay me or anything, just let me take care of her. They kept her from me even more. I listened on the phone when they told Mom I couldn't stay with Jenny anymore. I had to bury the phone in my pillow so they wouldn't hear me cry. You know how you usually cry after you build up to it? Breathe deep or sigh. The time it came all at once. I didn't stop for hours. I just walked. I didn't have any friends at school or dates or anything. I didn't need any of that if I had Jenny. She needed me. And I found out they were having a sitter on Friday night. A girl I knew. So I went to the house and told the girl that Jenny's folks wanted me to bring her to them. She said she would have to call them, and I said okay. But as soon as she left the room, I grabbed Jenny and I ran out. On the way, I bought some diapers and some clothes and some bottles and some of her formula. It was just gonna be us. I started driving and it didn't matter where we went so long as she was with me. Jenny was so good. She slept all the way. Finally, I had to stop. I cuddled her up against me and fell asleep in the car. When I woke, the sun was streaming in through the windshield. A highway patrolman was tapping on the glass. They took her from me again. They didn't understand how much she needed me. They didn't understand.
Turner, June, female, 16, charges pending.
I ran. I saw them coming and I was so scared that I ducked behind a building just before the two gangs reached each other. Nobody saw me, I don't think. They didn't even notice I was gone. When the fight started, I ran into the building and up onto the roof. I stayed hidden, but I wedged myself where I could see what was happening. We were getting the best of it, and feeling a little better, thinking maybe I could sneak back into the group afterward, I rubbed some dirt on myself. It looked good. But then the other gang broke up and scattered in all directions, all but the one they call Scam. By the time Scam looked up, nothing but our jackets were surrounding her. Scam had a club and she tried swinging her way out, but Dinah grabbed it and knocked her down. Scam started kicking at them and they held back for a second, and then Dinah started on her with the club. The others joined in too, smashing and hitting her with whatever they could find, until she quit moving. And then they just stood there for a while. And then Dinah started to laugh, laughing at the girl in the street. The others joined in too. I got sick there on the roof. The sirens were everywhere, and I ran for home, and I was almost to the front steps when the cop grabbed me.
Come on, girl.
I haven't done anything.
That's why you're so messed up. You got trouble waiting downtown. But let's go.
Then I shut up. There was no way to prove that I wasn't there. I'm sure they've got Dinah by now. If they bring her up here, it won't matter what the cops do to me.
Keep moving.
What's the rush?
Inside, Dinah.
Yeah. Got you too, huh? Anybody else?
No.
They haven't gotten a thing if we stick together, stick to the same story.
Is she dead?
Shut up! Will you? What's different? How do I know? I don't check the pulse on those creeps. What difference does it make anyway? We just stick together, stick to the same story. We had a few beers at the meeting and a fight broke out. Got it?
They won't buy that.
They will if you sell it hard enough. If you don't, then it won't be a lie. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Good. What if she's dead? Well, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed thou art among women. What if she's dead? What if somebody saw and blessed the fruit of thy... What if somebody talks? Will they say it was all me? All of them were in on it. All of them did. It wasn't just me. Holy Mother, Mary of God, I just hit her first. She was swinging at me. It was self-defense. She was swinging at me and I
all did it. Pray for us sinners, now at the hour of our...
Hey, loudmouth. You got a tongue? You figured if you keep quiet long enough, they'll just wrap you up and drop you off on Mr. or Mrs. America's doorstep, huh? Well, then the next thing you know, you're on the cover of Miss Teen Queen magazine. Well, if they don't know where to put you, they'll put you any place. Any place that's exactly like home, except for the bars on the windows, the locks on the doors, and your new circle of friends.
Don't you ever quit?
I'm expanding this girl's education.
You belong in a swamp. You belong under one.
2 points.
I've been to several of those homes, and sister, you are right. There is several of those girls who have been there a long time, and you are going to look like just what they had in mind.
Stop it.
Shut up. Just because these girls don't like to get their own cigarettes or make their own beds or wash their own clothes or anything, they'd rather have somebody else do it for them. Of course you could say no, but it's amazing how persuasive they can be and how many friends they have. So there's your choice. Be a slave or have your guts on a plate maybe twice a day. So you become her personal property, and she'll take care of you as long as you take care of her and anybody else she decides to have you take care of. And you'll be perfectly safe, unless one day she might need a lipstick or a blouse somebody else has, and she might negotiate a trade, and you're it. And then you have a new big sister, and the process goes on until you're a big sister yourself, if you live that long. Yeah, girl, keep your mouth shut. And just remember to abort or assign for yourself. There's no place like home.
Girl.
Me?
No. Her. Her.
Jean. What?
Thank you.
For what?
For, you know, when she was calling me that name,
Yeah.
somebody told me that if someone does something for you, you're supposed to say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wish they'd let me out of here. I got to deliver these bags, or I'll get fired. It's hard for me to find jobs.
Me too.
You know what you're in here for?
Yeah.
I wish I knew.
Burglary of habitation.
Huh?
Burglary of habitation. House.
Oh, you didn't hurt anybody or kill anybody, did you?
It was burglary of habitation. The front door was open. Weird, isn't it? The front door is almost always open. Or the key is under the mat. Or in the mailbox. Looked like an old guy lived there. Old books and pipes everywhere, dust laying around. Looked like he lived alone. But I wasn't worried about him. I had to get a couple hundred's worth of the fence to make my connection, and I needed it. TV was too big and in black and white anyways, and these people never have stereos. Wasn't much in the back either, but I know that people that age always keep cash stashed around someplace. The Depression or something made them that way. So I was digging through the shoes. The money's there a lot of the time. When I heard the front door open, I was stuck. He'd be blocking the hall, so I crouched down in the closet.
Who's there?
I quit breathing. I heard him come into the room.
Who's there?
I heard him touch the doorknob of the closet, so I slammed up against the door. When I tried getting up, he was holding a gun on me.
You're a girl. What are you doing here?
I just wanted to get warm. He wasn't having it.
Get up from there.
I saw Kane leaning in the corner, so I grabbed it, smashed his hand with it, and snatched up the gun. A lighter. He'd been covering me with a cigarette lighter. All right, where is it? I know it's somewhere here.
Why are you doing this?
Where is it? Just tell me where it is, and I'll get out of here. And he really set me back.
You want it for drugs, don't you? Well, you can't have it. Not for that.
Where is it?
If you're hungry, I'll get you something to eat. If you need something different, I'll do the best that I can, but not for that.
Where is it?
You're gonna have to use that. I'm not getting my
I was really strung by that time. So I started swinging at him with the cane. He never yelled, never said anything. I could tell he was hurt, but I couldn't stop. He was like he was the only thing between me and that king high of old time. I swung again, and the cops were on me. They were fixing him up and trying to get him to give a statement, but he wouldn't give one. They kept talking about how I'd beaten him up and how I was a junkie and how maybe they'd get me locked up for good, and he still wouldn't give one. Then he did the weirdest thing of all. He just looked at me and said,
No, please. She doesn't know what she's doing.
not like I was crazy, but like I really didn't know what I was doing. Maybe I could straighten out, make a living or something. I don't know, maybe. I hope that old guy's all right. I want to see him. Later, when I know what I'm doing.
These people are ready to be processed. Sanderson, Collins, Simpson, Grimes, Richards, Miller, Turner, Ballou, James, Givens, and Joe. Someone will be by from DHR for you, Randy.
What about me?
They're not ready for you yet.
Why not?
Another charge is pending.
Another charge. He wouldn't sign the complaint.
You may be charged on the adult side.
Adult side.
The old man died, Gene. The autopsy will determine your charge later.
When I'm not in jail, I'm really not in jail very much. They always put me with the nice people. Somebody once told me that it's wrong to hurt people, or to kill people, and that you get put in jail for that, or maybe even get killed yourself. But I didn't hurt anybody or kill anybody. They kept asking me why I said that, and I said, because it was true. And then the nice policeman would come in and say, oh, that's Andy. I told him that I didn't hurt anybody or kill anybody, and he'd say, I know, Andy, I know. I was glad he was there. I'd stay in jail for a day or maybe 2 days, and then they'd take me to meet some new nice people. I don't know what happens to the nice people I was with before. Maybe they move away while I'm in jail. I had some special people a long time ago, real special. For some reason. I can't remember why. Just one day I woke up and they were gone. And I didn't know where. And I waited for them to return, but they didn't. I cried, I think. And then I got real hungry. I remember that. And so I started to look out behind where I lived, and there were a few things. And then I found this cat that I liked a lot. And then I met this lady, and she introduced me to the nice people. The first ones. They said I couldn't take the cat with me, which I was kind of sad about, but the people were nice, and I was with them a long, long time. And I didn't go to jail or anything. But then one day I did. And by the time I got out, I guess they'd move on. I get kind of scared in jail. People aren't nice in there sometimes. And they do things to me that make me hurt. And I ask them to stop, but they won't. And sometimes there's 2 or 3 of them. And I'm strong, but I can't stop no 2 or 3 of them. And sometimes they have a knife, which I'm scared of. And what if the nice policeman isn't there when they bring me in next time, and I tell them that I didn't hurt anybody or kill anybody, and they don't believe me? They might kill me then. But everything will be all right. I'll go back to where I lived and find that cat and take him with me. And I won't go to jail again. And everything will be all right. Everything will be all right.
Miller, Carey, hit and run, guilty, 2 years juvenile detention, 10 years probation. Gibbons, Sean, criminal mischief, vandalism, guilty, 6 months juvenile detention, $15,000 damages payable by parents. James, Billy, arson, guilty, remanded to Children's Psychiatric Center, sentencing pending. Collins, Margaret, Sonny, accessory to aggravated assault and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, guilty, 6 months juvenile detention, suspended to 3 years probation. Sanderson, Jeffrey, Skip. Charges dropped. Accused killed in 1 vehicle accident while awaiting trial. 2 passengers also killed. Balu, Ann, theft, shoplifting, guilty, sentenced to 1 year of weekend work in local retirement home and 2 years probation. Simpson, Charlotte, Pinky, delivery of a controlled substance, guilty, possession of a controlled substance, guilty, carrying a prohibited weapon, guilty, unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, guilty, resisting arrest, guilty, tried as an adult, sentenced to 5 years at state detention facility and 10 years adult probation. Grimes, Leah, kidnapping, guilty, remanded to Department of Human Resources for further psychiatric testing prior to sentencing. Marler, Andrew, gambling violation, charges dropped, remanded to Department of Human Resources. Richards, Dinah, criminal homicide, murder, guilty, tried as an adult, sentenced to 20 years at state detention facility. Turner, Jane, voluntary manslaughter, guilty, tried as an adult, sentenced to 5 years, state detention facility. Doe Jane, arrest number 773, remanded to Department of Human Resources pending further information, housed at Simmons County Minimum Security Juvenile Detention Facility. Armstrong, Jean, charges pending, capital murder.
We're just trying to find it.
This is our awesome director, Kira. We
Yay!
cannot do tips that we would not be able to do the show without. So, thank you. Thank you. I love you.
We got you a present.
Oh my god.
Pineapples.
And a backpack full of goodies, so
Oh
when you go
my
on,
God.
be prepared.
Thank you guys.
Good luck, guys.
Thank
All
you
right,
all.
with the-